Hello, this is Father Aaron Westman with the Glen Mary Home Missioners, and this is your Missioner Moment. My brothers and sisters, if you're like me, you probably have found many moments where you needed to take a step back and take a deep breath in the midst of all that's going on, and the rapid change that's taking place, the new normal that exists in our lives. And I have found myself experiencing a whole gamut of different emotions. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming. One of the emotions that I was feeling earlier was this sense of feeling quite angry. What this anger was coming from is that, I was trying my best, and I've seen so many other people doing this as well, to practice social distancing, to do what is right for the most vulnerable people in our society. And then you see on the news that there are all of these college students going down to Florida, out onto the beaches, hundreds upon hundreds of them, and you know what this might mean for the vulnerable people around them. Or we hear the news of politicians who are somehow profiting off of this pandemic. Or we look at the stimulus package that is supposed to be passed, and it doesn't seem to be including the poorest people in our society. Or we go to the store and see people hoarding goods upon goods, taking things away from those who need them, sometimes even from the elderly. And that kind of created this sense of anger inside of me, and I really had to take a step back because I didn't want that anger to be my existence during this pandemic. There's a really beautiful thing that we hear in the second reading today by the author who wrote to the Ephesians. And he says to us, "Be children of the light." What a beautiful thing this is for us to remember in the midst of these very difficult and sometimes dark times, to be children of the light. But what does that mean? Well, I think for some of us, it means that even as these days get difficult, even as we feel that this isolation is becoming too much for us, that we still choose to do the right thing, to choose the light. Perhaps as parents, it means that even though you feel that you need to be comforted, you know that you must comfort your children in these strange times, to choose the light. Perhaps it means for you who are in the healthcare that you say to yourself in the morning when you don't want to go into work, when you're scared to go to the hospital, when you don't know what to do, you say, "I know I need to do this, and I'm going to choose the light." Perhaps for ministers out there, priests, people who have given their lives to being around and to serving others who now can't do that, and now you're struggling, perhaps even depressed, and you say to yourself, "I'm going to choose the light. I'm going to be creative. I'm still going to reach out to people, but perhaps in a different way." My brothers and sisters, many of the saints of our tradition have found themselves in moments like we are in today. Some of them have found themselves in moments of crises. Some have even found themselves in moments where they're secluded, alone, convalescing, healing. And in those moments, they could have chosen the darkness, but instead, they chose the light, and they emerged as saints that we still remember today. I know that these days ahead are going to be difficult. They've already been trying. But we can make a decision to go deep down inside of our own hearts. And yes, there will be some darkness there. There'll be some things that we don't like. But there will also be light. And we will find God. And we will rise as saints who choose the light.